Hey everyone, welcome back. I am back from my vacation. I was gone all summer, so I kind of like slacked on the uploading, but I am back. We're back to our regular programming schedule, which is a new video every Thursday and a new video every other Saturday. If you guys are excited, make sure you hit that like button down below. Today, we're gonna be going over every single book that I read in the month of June and July. If you guys don't know, I was in Puerto Rico the whole month of June and then halfway through July. And then I went to Orlando, Disney World, mid-July to beginning of August. So I was basically gone the whole summer. I was very busy doing new things and things with my family and friends, so I did not get to read as much as I wanted to or as much as I thought I would. If you guys like wrap-ups, if you guys like book recommendations, reading vlogs, make sure you hit that subscribe button before you leave, and let's get right into the video. So the first book I read was In the Flow. This one was more about cycle syncing, about hormonal balance, and like just everything women related. I love this book. I feel like maybe because it was the first one that I read in this topic, it was like very eye-opening and I feel like I learned a lot. But based on the reviews, there are better books about this topic, so I don't know if I should recommend it. In my opinion, if you guys have never read anything about your cycle and hormonal health, then maybe it's a good book to start with. But I am definitely looking forward to reading other books and learning new things. The reason why I got this book or read this book was because I just took out my IUD. I know, TMI, but whatever. And I am kind of excited to getting back to who I am. I feel like my IUD had me like very depressed and like hormonally imbalanced, and I never felt like myself. Like even when I took it off, I felt like something lifted, like a weight lifted off my shoulders, like if I was basically like a foreign object literally being taken out of my body. Like it felt like I was back to being myself. And even though I'm like in month number 3, I think it takes like 3 months to like basically go back to normal, so like I'm still kind of like getting there. But like once I do, I have already tracked my menstrual cycles and I have already read enough information for me to start like cycle syncing. I didn't rate it, but I did enjoy it, and if I was gonna rate it, I'm saying maybe like 4 stars. That would be a good rating. The next book that I read is Fourth Wing. It is my favorite fantasy this year. I'm obsessed with it just like everybody else. I know some people find it like overrated and it's just more of the same, but like to me personally, I feel like I clicked with it a lot. It had everything I loved. It had like enemies to lovers. It had like, I feel like even I'm not like a world building person, and this book had so much world building and I was like actually into it, and it felt like kind of like dark academia, but not really, because you're like in a school setting. And then like it kind of like gave off like Hunger Games. I've never read Hunger Games, but I have watched the movie, so I feel like it did feel like I was reading about the Hunger Games. And how can we forget dragons? I have always wanted a dragon tattoo, but I have never had like a reason to get it until now. Like now I do have a reason, and the fact that like dragons are not just there, like in Daughter of the Moon Goddess, there was dragons, and obviously I love them, but they didn't have like a personality or like individuality. And in this book, I feel like we do go over like the bond between the dragon and the person that's gonna be bonded to it. How would you call that? You know what I'm trying to say, like the main character and like her chosen or like whatever dragon. I was gonna say something, but it's gonna be spoilery. Anyways, the point is that like basically like dragons are very picky of who they choose to bond with, and they don't like weak people. And like our main character is dealing with like a chronic illness, and obviously like everybody in this world sees her as like someone weak because she has a disability, and she's worried about whether or not she's gonna like bond with the dragon. In this world, you either like graduate from the school or you die. There's not like in between. So obviously she's worried about bonding with the dragon because she doesn't want to die. So yeah, anyways, that's all I'm gonna say, because I feel like if I say anything about the whole like story, I'm gonna spoil it, and I feel like it's such a special story. I want you to go in it like blindly. And yeah, I loved it so much. In 6 months, I had not clicked with the fantasy series this bad. And I did with like this series. Obviously like I did click with the series, and I still love it and enjoy it, and it is my favorite. It's not my favorite of this year. Never mind, I take it back, because like Iron Flame, which is the second book in the Fourth Wing series, is coming out at the end of the year, so like it might dethrone this one. But this is definitely like my second favorite fantasy series that I have read this year, and I am definitely looking forward to the new book, which if you guys have not seen the cover, Have you guys seen this cover? Are you serious right now? Are you serious right now? Moons? Come on, come on. So yeah, it has the romance, it has like the fantasy, like the war, the like action. It's just perfect. I loved it so much. And it is the first book in a 5-book series, or like at least it is planned to be a 5-book series. So that means I'm gonna have a new book like hopefully like it will be every 6 months instead of every year. But yeah, anyways, I am so excited about this series. I loved Fourth Wing. Another book that I read was The Whispers by Ashley O'Drain. This one, I mean, you guys, are you serious right now? Like, this author has become my favorite thrillers author. It is not too scary, but it is, I feel like if you're a mom, this author you're gonna click with so much. I feel like both of her books are very much like the dark side of motherhood and like what people don't really talk about. I don't feel like you have to be a mom to appreciate the book, but I feel like it's not gonna hit as hard unless you're able to like relate to the things that like these women are saying or doing or whatever. In this book, we follow 4 women, and they're all very individual. They're all like suburban moms or like suburban women, and they live close to each other. They basically hang out together. They're not that close. They're just like neighbors, so they're close sometimes, but they're not like best friends, you know what I mean? They all have their own issues. Some of them deal with infertility. Some of them deal with like not being able to handle motherhood or like having like a temper. Others like deal with like infidelity within their marriage, and we have another one who also lost a child. So yeah, anyways, basically we follow all four women and their families and everything that they're dealing with, their secrets, and how like they all have kind of like they're all connected to each other. The book, it starts with the main one, which I think is Whitney, if I'm not mistaken. Whitney, who's like the perfect mom, basically like goes off on her son, and she doesn't realize that the windows are open, and she has like a party downstairs, and everyone in the party hears her. So like days later, her son falls off a window, and obviously everybody thinks she pushed him because they had just heard her go off on him. So yeah, anyways, it's all like about like who did it, who pushed him down the window, and what mothers are capable of doing. And like everybody, I don't know, we also have like some cheating going on that they're trying to figure out who is cheating with who. And then we also have the woman dealing with infertility, and another woman that watches everything everybody does, so she kind of like knows everyone's secrets. It's just very much like Desperate Housewives type of vibes. I feel like if you like Desperate Housewives, you are definitely gonna love this book. Alright, then I read or DNF'd Once More with Feeling. I had read the first book in this series. I don't know if it's a series, but like the first book this author like came out with, and I actually really enjoyed it. I think I gave it like 4 stars. But this one I was very, very excited about, and honestly, it felt so boring. I could not identify with any of the characters. They were like so unlikable. It felt like I actually was not rooting for any of them. Like, it basically is about this girl who, let's say Britney Spears, right? She was like the biggest pop star at a certain time, and she was dating like Justin Timberlake, who was like the main guy of like a popular boy band in that time as well. And then basically Britney knew one of NSYNC's like bandmates before they became famous, or like while they were getting famous. So she has like that special connection with him, but then she's dating Justin Timberlake. You know what I mean? So like Justin and her break up, and then like she basically ends up like retiring from being like, I don't know if she was like a singer or an actress, but like she basically retired and she's living like a very slow life. And then the other guy from NSYNC is telling her or asking her if she wants to join a musical or like this theater thing, and he is involved in it. So basically like it's supposed to be like their romance, but honestly I did not buy it. I was so bored, and she was so unlikable. The Justin Timberlake guy was unlikable. The other NSYNC guy was unlikable. Like, it was just very boring. I hated all of them, and I just DNF after 50%. I don't know if I'm gonna read anything else from this author. It just depends on what she puts out next. But so far, I'm kind of like, I don't know. Then I read The Housemate, and you guys, I read this on Kindle Unlimited, of course, and then I went to Target, as you guys can see by the sticker, and saw it, and I was like, I need it because this is one of my favorite thrillers of all time. In this book, we follow, what's her name? Is it Molly? Millie. So we follow Millie. Millie used to be in jail, and she's now looking for a job as a housemaid, and she basically gets hired by Andrew and Nina, who have a daughter. It's actually Nina's daughter. She gets a job in this house, and weird things start happening. This is divided in 3 parts. I don't want to say much about it because it's very fast paced, so I feel like as soon as I say something, I can spoil like at least half of the book, so I don't want to say much about it, but basically there's an attic, there's a creepy girl, there is a very bitchy like housewife, and obviously like she treats Nina treats Millie like shit, so you have that tension going on. Andrew is like really nice to her, so you have that going on. And then basically the book is divided in like 3 parts. It's like the first part is like Millie's perspective, and then at the end something happens that takes you to the second part, which is kind of like the plot twist, and you kind of like see the behind the scenes of the whole story. And then the third part is basically like revenge, like the revenge arc, and everything about the third part is someone getting revenge on someone else, and it is just the most detailed, most delicious like thing I've ever read in my life. I feel like I could not put it down. I read the whole, like, I would say like the whole second and third part in like maybe like half a day, like in one sitting. I could not stop reading this book. It took me like a whole month to get into the beginning of it, like the first part of the book, because I didn't know much about it and I was busy. I was with my family, but then on one boring day I was like, let me just get back into it, and then I couldn't put it down. I was like, oh my gosh, why did I wait so long to keep reading this? Why? Such a good book. Highly recommend if you guys like thrillers. It is amazing. I definitely need to get to the second one because I have no idea what it is about, since this one kind of like concluded, but we'll see because I can see how there could be a second part, but it's not gonna be like the same story, you know what I mean? So we'll see. All right, then I read Love Theoretically. I don't know how to pronounce that, whatever. Anyways, this is Alice Hazelwood's third, I think, book, like that's not like a novella that she came out with, or I think she actually did like a YA, I don't know, but this is like the third one in the STEM whatever series, and I liked the first one. I hated the second one. I actually DNF'd it, and then this one was kind of like the make it or break it. Like I actually put this in my anti-haul, and this is like a pending author that I was never gonna read again, and I actually really enjoyed this book. This was probably my favorite book from hers. So she basically was pretending to be this guy's girlfriend. She was getting paid for it, and basically like she ended up seeing his brother in another area, like in another area of life, and then basically like the truth came out that she's not actually dating his brother, but then like, you know, he's always been kind of like into her. They're both on like polar opposite sides of this, you know, scientific like world, and they also have like these little banter going on, and like it's just such a good book. I think I gave it like 4 stars. It is obviously not like my favorite romance of all time, but it is definitely my favorite Ali Hazelwood book. But like the first one, and then the second one will be like the one with the blue cover, something below or below zero, something like that. Anyways, those 2 are like the ones that I liked. The other ones, questionable. Then I have the last book, which was a DNF, and it is Unfortunately Yours by Tessa Bailey. I actually was gonna look for the first one, but I don't think I have it here. So I read the first one in the series and I loved it. It was a 4 stars. I did not like this one. I love A Marriage of Convenience books, which is why I thought that I was gonna like this one better than the first one, but I did not like it. I did not like the main character. I feel like I really hated her. I did not click with her personality at all, and the guy was nice, like he was okay, but I also did not fall for him like the way I should have. So yeah, that's why I kind of like did not love this book. I DNF'd it. It had like military, you know, like romance in it. So if you guys like, you know, a military man, I'm in a military relationship and I don't like military romance like in books, so I don't know what to, you know, I just feel like they're kind of like unrealistic. But yeah, this is basically like A Marriage of Convenience, and I feel like I did not like, I feel like he was also like too straightforward right away. He was kind of like, oh, I want to have sex with you, you know what I mean? And it's like, whoa, like we don't even know each other that well, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, I just feel like normally I like for the person to want to have sex with them after they get to know each other, you know what I mean? When they're like, okay, I'm in love with you, I cannot wait to be with you, you know, physically. So yeah, I feel like this one was too fast-paced, too insta-lovey, and I don't know, I just did not click with it. I DNF'd it. I don't have time to read books that I am not into. So yeah. Before I go, I want to mention this book as well. This is Project Hail Mary. This one I started an audiobook in Spanish in Puerto Rico, and it has been 2 months and I still have not gotten back into it, but I did see it in the airport, so I bought it, and now I am gonna try to finish it this month. So yeah, stay tuned for my thoughts on this one in the August wrap up. So far I've been loving it. If you guys like The Martian, like the movie or the actual book, you're gonna love this one. It's kind of like the same vibes, and as someone who hates sci-fi, this one is pretty good. So So yeah, that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and got some good recommendations. I know I didn't read that much, but hopefully I can get back into reading, you know, now in the fall, because I love reading in the fall, especially like thrillers and fantasy. I feel like I always read my best books in the fall, so we will see how this one will go, because I am also moving in the fall. So we're gonna have a lot of reading vlogs, moving vlogs coming up. I also have a giveaway that I have to do for my 1,000 subscriber mark. I am so excited. I still cannot believe that I hit 1,000 subscribers. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next one.